So the Browns went defense with their first two picks. They trade back, they get Mason Graham, and then they take Carson Schwesinger with the first pick in the second round. Did the Schwesinger pick surprise you, and what are your thoughts on him? That was a guy that really went on Browns fans' radar. Obviously, it was on the Browns' radar, but the fans kind of were like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, he's interesting, right? He comes from being a former walk-on, finally earned a starting gig this past season, and man, the good moments of his tape are tough to match. I mean, the way that this guy can put his foot in the ground and go, and some of the plays in which he anticipated where the ball was going, it's like he was reading the play better than the offense was. It's like his helmet was connected to the other team's offensive coordinator's helmet. Like that's how well he was recognizing plays. But on the flip side, just from I think a lack of starts and a lack of experience, and he's a little bit lighter of a linebacker. He got pushed around a little bit, played on the ground a lot, and you want a guy to be a little bit more stout in run defense than he was. But, as a will linebacker, as a coverage linebacker, as a guy who you just say, like, hey, just go run and chase, cover some ground, give us some good range, that player is certainly in there and can stand out at the NFL level. Now, is that worth number 33 overall? I think that's where some draft analysts, myself included, were saying like, whoa, okay, I think that's early. Now, I had heard some whispers that Carson Schwesinger may be a late first round pick, early second round pick type of a player, but I thought that was the very top of his range of where he was going to go. But very clearly, the Browns wanted more speed at that second level. They wanted more speed at the linebacker level there with those guys. And so it's, for as much as you kind of don't want that 33rd pick there at the very top of the second round, as much as you don't want that to be a sort of wait and see, hey, we've got a little bit of ways to go with this player, it kind of is with Schwesinger, who I know a lot of teams were excited about. A lot of teams had this guy on their board pretty high, but this was still the very top of the range, in my opinion, of where he would have been taken.
How much better is the Browns' defense with Graham and Schwesinger than it was before they added him?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Graham. I really am. Elite run defense grades over the last two seasons. And even though he wasn't a prolific pass rusher from the middle, 13.8% pass rush win percentage, still had a really strong pass rush grade against true pass sets when he was asked to pin his ears back. The thing about Graham, and I know there wasn't a lot of production from him specifically this past year, everybody knew that defense was nasty, especially on the interior with Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant. And you watch a lot of these Big Ten offenses, and with their passing game, the time to throw against Michigan specifically was very low. They were not giving any of those defensive linemen the time to get into the backfield, get those tackles for loss, pressures, and sacks. And so I think that some people might look at Mason Graham and can't remember if he had 4.5 sacks this past season. And you look at that and you think, all right, well, that's a little underwhelming. The pressure numbers and the pass rush win percentage numbers are a lot more impressive from Graham. And so I think he's going to be ox against the run, can really hold up against double teams pretty well. And again, we saw that with really good run defense grades for him. And I just think that his presence will be enough to help alleviate some of what Myles Garrett goes up against, man. He's just been, I looked this up this morning, actually, just how much it feels like he has been just a one-man army, it felt like, on that defensive line, really for the better part of 2018. Now, not the entirety of those, 6-7 seasons, but a lot of it was him just doing that work on his own. And I think Mason Graham really helps out up front, takes some pressure off of Myles Garrett, and vice versa as well. I think you'll be able to see Graham pin his ears back and get after the quarterback.